Hello YouTube, this is Richard here with NoFactor, and today I'm going to be continuing the tutorial on NodeJS and beginning development technique. And last time we worked with comments, we worked with putting data on the command line, outputting data to the command line, working with variables, strings, booleans, and integers. We went over if statements, and we went over functions and creating our own modules and classes. Today I'm going to go a little deeper into variables and touch on some variables I missed, and then we're going to get into working with other NPM packages. So let's begin. So something I left out last time are arrays. And arrays, they are just lists of generally same type objects. Objects, arrays, etc. So we're going to make our array here. And we're going to make an array of fruit. We have apple, a banana, cherry, orange, and let's add a strawberry. And then I'll just console log that out for you. Is bugging. And there is my array. And you want to, if it's a known array, like it's a static or static array, and it's never going to change, you know what object you want, you can use an index. Now indexes in JavaScript are zero-based, along with most languages. So if I wanted to reference apple, it'd be 0. If I wanted to reference banana, it'd be 1, and so on. So if I wanted to console.log apple, I would put in 0 here and not 1 because it's 0-based. And if I wanted to do cherry, right, it would be 2. So this is how you access an item in a known. Let's comment that out for now. Now, what if you wanted to find a specific item in an array because you don't know what it is, right? So just do index of. IArray.index of, and let's find cherry, right? And you see there that I found cherry, strawberry, right? And it would show a strawberry. Now, what you want to do in this situation is if index greater than -1, because if it doesn't find index, it'll return -1. Say fruit. So now it works, but now if we say kiwi, right? Fruit not found. Now if we did just this, right, that there is an index, because it's zero based, if we said apple, say fruit not found, so it's greater than -1. Comment that out. Now, if you wanted to add an item to an array, right? You could just simply do my array dot push. I'm gonna go ahead and add kiwi. And you'll see that kiwi is definitely here. And now if you wanted to iterate over your array, each item, you would just do my array.for each. And this is a function that gets passed into for each. And console.log. Add. And the fruit. Oh, I went through that. This is one way, iterating. That's the first way. I'll show you a second way. Some people prefer the first way and say you should always do the first way. Other people are always like, oh, it costs too much, you should do it this way. I'll let you kind of choose. So here's a second one. Oh, forgot to go over something. So when you want to get the count of your array, right? Just do my array.length. That is the count. That's how long, how many items are in the array. So in your for statement here, you create a variable I, you set it to 0, tell it to go until it is less than the length of my array. Because it's 0 based, you don't have to do a -1 or anything there. And then it does I++, which means I plus 1. And so now, console. And you see the length here is 5, and go through it. Now, back here, show you. You can also get the index in the for each. That's the second variable that's passed in. Helps if I name it right. And save it. And you see that works the same as before. I'll comment that out as well. Okay, so the other thing that you can, that I haven't touched on, that you can create is an object. Sorry, my daughter is screaming. And an object simply a key value store consists of strings, booleans, integers, objects, functions, and etc. And so we'll make a object, right? So name, Kiwi, or let's just get brown, skin, and then make that our line. And see here, object, and wondering about the console.log and transition that was here. I had something else and it was a little more kind of better example. I'll show you now. Console.log this out. Right. To access that, you just do my object dot. Right. Also, but it's kind of just bird if you know. With that out. And if you wanted to get like all the key names, right, of object, okay. Object, please. Out. You'll see that it returns an array of the key names in our object. And with something like that, you could do like key. This is how we actually would access that with the key name. Yeah, and then if you wanted to, let's say later on in your code, you wanted to add another object that you could just do. Oh, it'd help if I got it after I said it right. Doc is now there. And let's say I wanted to change my banana. Right? And now if I do that, values. So that is working with arrays and working with objects. And next I'll move on. Working with NPM. Cool. Okay. So we kind of went over the variables there, and now it's actually getting into packages. And packages are just modules, classes, frameworks, whatever you want to call them, that are released publicly use. So we'll go here. And js.com, and see this is the npm repository, and get my account something. I wanted to go to packages. Times joy of. Okay. And you'll see that I have packages here. Look at the SQL framework that, or a module that or a Postgres module that I wrote that pretty much takes care of all things needed creating like CRUD database. So we and we're gonna start with the so first thing we're gonna learn about today. Oh, project command line. Dear. So we're gonna create a new directory. We're gonna cd it and kind of accept the default. Now, then to do npm install save dev eslet. That's the package name. Another thing that you could do, and what ESLint is for Java, just ensures that you hear the standards and stuff. You can also install globally with -G. I've already had that. And now, the other thing, something. Go ahead and grab it as well. And Express is it's a framework that allows you to quickly set up a web server to NodeJS and set all kinds of stuff. And so we'll just go over the very basics of working with Express, and then we'll call it a day. And the next tutorial will actually be creating an Express application. So, yeah, we want to save this, because we want to save, like if we were to publish this or install it later on, right after we check in code, you would want the module to get installed. Show you what that looks like. Second here, save Express. So now we have that installed. Package. Yes. And if you don't know, npm stands for package module. I should have kind of went over. So we'll file and let's be yes. So press there. Install. Our app 6. Get. Spot. Been a while. This would HTML. You want press it on. say. So now I went J. See that? Misspelled it. 1,000. 1,000. Hello world. Return that, and so that's how you kind of would start working with that package. And the cool thing at npm, you have all of this. They have README files with it, and generally, some of the bigger packages that you wanted to work with, you could pretty much tell you how to how to start working with it. And also they have like documents that you can cite. They have documentation that you can read. And let's say you wanted to work with weather, right? So and Yahoo Weather API, Weather API. That's something there. Let's say you wanted like League of Legends Riot API, right? Stuff here that works. Riot. So there's a whole world of things out there. Let's say you wanted to use NodeJS to make HTML into PDF, right? And here's frameworks. So there's a lot of packages out there. Give you 771,000 packages out there. Now you have to be careful with packages. So okay, so there's all these packages out there. They're open sourced, and one of the things you have to be careful of is that the script could have malicious code in it. It could look like working code, but you don't know. So one of the things you want to do is in your command line, once you get your packages added, say just want to do an npm audit, and npm audit scan packages that you've installed and show you if there's any vulnerabilities and that package has been compromised, because in the past packages have been compromised and things like your npm credentials so that the script could replicate itself into your repository. And that's one handy trick with that. And you basically want to make sure that you. And now in our first intro video, saw this and we kind of skipped over. So I want to show you. So scripts start. What that essentially allows us to do package.json, add a start scripts NodeJS. Now you do npm and start, and it will launch your script for you. there's it's here. Kind of tells you some of the stuff. Here's a description of what's in the package.json, and there's a lot of neat stuff I will show you. Uh, something I'm working on. Package.json. You'll see here that I have scripts for linting code before testing my building. I have a build script. And there's keywords here set. That's if you publish your package that it searched on the author page. And so here's dev dependency, right? These are dependencies that only get installed on development. And then these dependencies tell you that these are what I need in my code. So I check out my team. Kind of show you tricks. You're silly little girl shaking my chair while I'm trying to make a video. Alright. Now I'm going. Oh, okay. Now I've CD'd into my directory, and now this is why you want to save your dev dependencies or save other dependencies. Because, right, if I did node index.js, right, can't find, the things that it's looking for. You don't check those packages in with code. So you just do an npm install. And now it's installing all of my packages that go with this. So if you're, downloading source code for Node project through GitHub or that's something that you have to do. npm install, and then you'll see that there's your vulnerability. The other thing you can do. So all these packages are in a folder. Modules. Jeez. All of those dependencies. Something I wrote. Now, if I. Okay. So that's how you install packages with dev dependencies, just npm install. But if you wanted to, like, let's say, put this in a Docker container or set it up for production, you wouldn't necessarily want all those dev dependencies. So we'll just remove our node modules. Apparently. And so now you would do npm install -- production. that will cause that dev dependencies are installed. There were so many packages before, if you remember my node modules list, but now there's just this list. Still quite a bit, but kind of see. Now if I did npm install, it would install the dev dependencies as well. Packages there. Okay. So now I went back, working with I'm going to kind of give you my basic development setup. We're not going to go over Jest today, that'll be another video, but I'll help you get set up there. What Jest is Jest. What Jest is it's a delightful JavaScript testing. So it's for unit testing. Go over that. Test-driven development is really a practice you should engage on, to learn, and kind of debating whether doing Express or Jest next, but I'll probably do a Jest tutorial next. And what test-driven development is basically you write your unit tests before you even get started in developing, and it really causes you to think about the structure of your code, what each function is going to do. So I'll show you how I set up my package.json so that I can have you show you what that looks like. To the bottom. So install NST Babel ESLint, Airbnb, because that's the one I a lot. Handy one. ESLint. So we'll just do it in. Then VS Code, and you've installed the ESLint module. Show you. I have the ESLint module. Now here, right? Oh, I have to install it. This code's sometimes. Oh, silly. So I can copy. I'll make these available. Well, these are available. I'll make these available. I'll put in the link in the video. So you have two files you need to create: .es_lintignore, and in there you want to make sure your node modules are not much you can do about that. It's written by someone else. Then you want to create a .ESLint rc.json. That thing happened. There we go. And here, parser babel lint environment node ES6 just settings MA script 6 parser option CCMA version features. Like I said, I'll make this extends error base BM which we JSON. So this is I use. Now if I go to our index JavaScript here, now you'll see squiggly red lines, right? And this is enforcing us to use standards. And so if I go to problems here, so click on this thing here, right? Light bulb. Auto fix all problems, right? Or you could right here, yes, lint. Dash fix option, and it fixed our code, right? It up. So those are some things that are neat with it. Did like let Bob 1 saved. See that there's two problems that arise. I never use Bob, and Bob is never reassigned. So it's going to tell me, say, right. So well, Bob is never reassigned you. I could either fix it or fix it for me. So yeah, that is pretty much basics of working with NPM. It's also, I got you set up with linting so that you can write code that is clean, follows some rules, and it kind of enforces you to do that. And last thing I'll show you, you can add a lint here. Lint. Now, you can only do this if you did npm install -g ESLint. That's installing a global. Otherwise, you have to do this. Node modules in ESLint. Now, if I npm. I'm sorry. It's just npm lint. It's and that will run the lint. And it's always best, like, let's say you had a test suite. Test lint, right? Because now that forces your test run that your code has to follow guidelines. So test, which there is no test, no test specified, right? So now if I change it back to what? Save test. I'm gonna throw an error because my code doesn't meet standards and it's not gonna even run my unit. So that's one thing that I do kind of force myself to write code that follows standards of Airbnb. I really appreciate you watching this video on YouTube. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you like the video, give us a subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have a Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/nailfactor, or you can go to our website, www.nailfactor.com. Really appreciate you guys watching this, and thank you and have a great day.